me start by saying that you don't welcome a visitor to your town with threats and just do as you're told. Because sometimes, and only sometimes, that will, elicit a response that you weren't prepared for, nor did you really want to begin with, to disrupt your so called smooth living, wanting things to go off without a hitch, whichever you wish to prefer. I'm not stupid. And just because you don't get where I'm coming from doesn't mean that in the least. In fact, what it probably means is you realistically are not on my level, and you need to remember that and own that shit. So that being said, I will no longer quote my brother-in-law in the least, except for this to say, we're both over the hill. I wouldn't say over the hill, I would say slowly traversing the bottom part of that journey. And I wish to enjoy my life for what is left of it, hopefully with a woman of my choosing, and a job that I want, and a career that I can't get enough of. And I will get what I wish, despite of envy, jealousy, or things to that nature. And I'm not going to learn any lesson except to say that I don't get bullied. And when somebody says just do as you're told, I tend to have that reaction that you're not going to like very much. And if you were under the mistaken impression that I came here to take over your whatever the fuck this is, Al Capone, Shangri-La kind of thing, his retirement community this would be his retirement community, for the simple fact of the matter is he's used to owning something bigger, wider, and far more grander than this. I would hazard to take that guess that I will be gone on Wednesday, but this whole thing will be a fucking nightmare that I just want to get rid of and get every single little parasitic fucking piece of garbage off of me before I go, because it's annoying as fuck. You understand what I'm saying? It's annoying as fuck. And yes, my fame is increased. And yes, how I'm getting paid from that is probably the extra special way I get treated during the day. And the fact of the matter is this: my brother-in-law is a good man. Whatever he needs help with, I will more than happily provide that to him. Or if he is not a complete individual at this present point in time, it would be my honor to help him get there through basic, sweeter, G-rated, nicer kind of means, rather than what had been suggested to me up until this present point in time. And I don't ever see him being without his own reality, and I don't ever see him being without his own. I see him being stripped of it, and I see him probably being part of something he didn't know fully what he was getting himself into. And that could very well be where him and my father probably met at an impasse. I believe that he, for the most part, could be a drunken individual who could be an alcoholic. But whatever that is, and whatever the case may be, that's maybe his way of coping currently with what he's got to face in his life. In the current situation of being faced with problems on a much grander scale because somebody decided to get into his life just like somebody decided to get into mine. And who's to really say what karma is? So much as selfish, envious, jealous bullshit. See, I choose to look at it from that point of view because this whole thing is subjective and objective for that matter. It has nothing to do with karma. So you can point at anybody and say, this person has what I want, therefore his number is up. He did this 20 plus years ago, so now I'm going to take my frustrations out on him in order to get what I want. See, that's where it's at. And I could really give a rat's ass what anybody else says. Paradigm shift, things of that nature, a change in assumption. Good and evil is a change in assumption. Certain people like Saddam, certain people not so much. Certain people like Osama, certain people not so much. And anybody that's like very comfortable in their own way of doing things and how they wish to proceed in that, that's fine. I wish to ask for the same thing. So if you're not willing to grant the freedoms that have been granted to me by my forefathers, and the people that have fought for my freedoms and my religious beliefs, then fuck you. See, that's the first thing that you little parasitic worms got to learn about me. I'm a rich believer in the history that we have in this great land and that of one in the States. And however much we're losing there and here, as this is the last free country that there is. So if I were you, I'd fucking hip to that real quick. And I'd wise up to the fact that I'm out of here on Wednesday. Whether I stay at my brother-in-law's or a shelter for that matter that has at least allowed me a fucking bed and a place to stay and chill out where I'm not tormented and fucking bugged with the same shit on a fucking daily basis. I don't need to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Nobody should be afraid of their last place to stay. You're a fucking joke.